Hey everybody, it's Dan. Let's talk about the Clery Act, when it's actually going to pass. We have a lot of talk about July 4th. I disagree with that date. I also want to talk about 3 gems that you should be buying right now. They're not the ones everyone's talking about. I do agree with the rest of the crowd. And right here in front of you, you see Ethereum, Solana, and Ripple. And I'm going to give you the cases for why these are great picks. But I think there's 3 other ones that give you much, much more upside. Usually, if you put a little bit more risk, you get a whole lot more out. Same story with Palantir, right? At $6, $7, skyrocketed to 150 plus. Same story with NVIDIA. When you take a little bit of risk in your portfolio, sometimes you end up becoming a multi-millionaire. So we'll go through all those picks. We'll talk about dark pool levels, how they can help you figure out the correct assets and correct cryptos to buy. And we'll just talk about what to do. We'll show you the 10K portfolio, what's inside of the portfolio, how I'm positioning that portfolio, and what I'm going to do over the next couple of months to really take advantage of this market. Again, this is inside of OxRank, and we're going to talk about how you can access that 10K portfolio and see it in here, utilize all of the features. But let's get started. So I do not think Clery Act is going to be on July 4th, 2026, like everybody's talking about. So, and we're going to talk about those, and over here, if we switch and you go into watch lists, you can go to the actual watch list for the Clery Act. And right here, it says September 16th, Clery Act gems. Again, we're going to access this portfolio in just a second to show you those 3 hidden gems. But again, I built a custom AI language learning model for OxRank.com. It analyzes over 15,000 stocks. It analyzes all the cryptocurrencies, analyzes all of the markets, the Indian, European, and American markets, and it gives me a rough estimate. It's been pretty freaking accurate on everything. So I'm very, very bullish on a lot of this stuff. And I don't just use my software and the AI alone. I use my own knowledge of over 24 years of investing to get to these. So again, September 16th is a Friday. The most likely date, I do believe it's going to be somewhere between September 13th and 16th, but 16th is a much, much better candidate. This is a much more realistic scenario in terms of, a cool date like July 4th. So we'll go over that in just a second. But let's switch back over here to the top 3 really safe picks that everybody talks about. So Ethereum, widely considered the biggest beneficiary of the Clery Act because the legislation establishes a mature blockchain pathway that favors highly decentralized and functional networks. Also, you have to understand, if BlackRock is buying Bitcoin at $19,000, $20,000, $21,000, you should have expected it to go to $120,000. And if BlackRock is now secretly buying small amounts of Ethereum, you should see Ethereum at least double. I'm not saying Ethereum is going to $100,000, but if you saw doubling to tripling of Bitcoin very, very quickly, you should be able to see a $4,000 to $6,000 Ethereum in the next 12 months or less. Anytime you can 200% your portfolio very, very safely, you really did good, and that's a great portfolio. Now, again, beyond Ethereum, analysts highlight several other cryptocurrencies poised to benefit. These are not the hidden gems. These are the safe gems. So let's go through this very, very quickly. Solana. As the second largest network for stablecoin activity in DeFi, Solana will benefit heavily from provisions that clarify regulatory rules for on-chain finance and stablecoin usage. What I really want you to understand is majority of meme coins, cryptocurrencies that are created in the world use the Solana network. Okay, that's a huge, huge deal. And the second largest network for stablecoins in the world, that also is another massive, massive deal. Now, Ripple is our third one. The legislation aims to make it safe for financial institutions to integrate blockchain technology. This is expected to directly assist the fintech companies like Ripple, especially with their stablecoin, in deploying their global payment and liquidity solutions for banks. When I say global payment, what I'm talking about, since the beginning of time, when Ripple was created, its main goal in life, its main reason to exist was to be a bridge between cryptocurrencies. You could come in with Dogecoin and you can pay in Bitcoin, so on and so forth. You can kind of integrate all the cryptos together and not worry about those payment processors and systems. So this will provide all of those solutions. Now let's switch back to those hidden gems that I was talking about. Again, if you go into OxRank.com, you can head on over to OxPicks, over here. Once you click on OxPix, you can click on the 10K portfolio, and you can see now that and you can see all of these portfolios. Let me switch back over here. But you can see the 10K, the 50K, 250K, and a $1 million portfolio and everything inside of them. You can follow the buy and sell alerts in real time as I'm trading, and I'm using forex trading and day trading as well. Again, inside of here, you can see what I have: Amazon, AVGo, Ethereum, Meta, NVIDIA, PanW, which is Palo Alto Network, Solana, and Ripple. But again, I have not added those hidden gems yet, which I will be very, very soon. I have to just kind of reposition the portfolio. So here's the portfolio. Heading back to watch list over here, if we click on those September 16th projected date for the Clarity Act hidden gems, you will see those hidden gems. We have Chainlink as the number one. We have Hedera, and we have Stellar. So these are your top three picks that that could massively make your portfolio just blow up and double, maybe even triple. So here they are right here on screen. Take a screenshot of this. Again, this is all going to be available to you inside of the OxRank analysis tool. But something really cool, you really should kind of understand is the dark pool levels. If you go to OxRank.com, go down to OxFlow, and then go to the very last tab called Dark Pools, you really should have a good understanding of dark pools. So what you understand is dark pool levels, they kind of help you understand price zones and the significant institutional volume that's happening, what transactions they're performing away from the public, away from your eyes. And if you want to know these way ahead of time, within minutes or seconds of them happening before anyone else, and sometimes they get reported at the end of the day, sometimes you don't even know they ever happened at all. Now you can use the dark pool levels in here to really become a professional trader. Also expect, we used to sell these courses for like $500 a pop. You will be able to, in the next few days, access the courses tab and access Forex trading, access stock market and crypto market courses. And again, in here, you'll also have the link if you want to do live day trading with me as well. So we are really getting into OxRank becoming the most professional tool ever. What I've done is I've taken big terminals like Bloomberg that charges $6,000 per month. And I said, you know what? I'm going to spend all the money I have in the world, but I'm going to make a tool that has every single thing available to a normal average user so they can afford it and have it without paying some amount of money that nobody can. The rich keep getting richer is because they have access to tools that most people can't afford. 99% of people out there can't afford something like Bloomberg that charges $6,000 a month. But that data that they have in there, that comes from APIs, that comes from government, that comes from institutions. I can access that, and I have. And now that I've accessed it, I've built it into OxRank so you too can thrive and actually have a very successful portfolio and know the knowledge that they possess. And the more you know, the better your portfolio will be. And again, not just that, if you go into OxPix over here, you'll be able to follow my portfolios, the $1 million portfolio, the $250,000, wherever you're starting at, you can follow it. Top 100 crypto tab over here will show you all the cryptocurrencies. Macro dashboard will show you all of the macro. And again, maybe you're brand new to trading and you're like, what in the world does the macro environment indices tab tell me? Well, if you click over here, and most of the entire OxRank tool will have these little question marks or little tabs, and they'll teach you so you can understand exactly how this helps you. So TK10 Y2Y, which is a 10-year minimum, minus the 2-year yield spread. Why does it matter? It's one of the best recession indicators in the world, shows the shape of the yield curve. Banks rely on this spread for lending profitability. And again, you can see all of them explained. And, you can close this up. You can open up the indicator for the stocks, for market leadership. So you can see what you should be following. Again, if you ever ask yourself, what stock should I follow to really understand why these companies matter? So when you look at Apple, why does it matter? It's the largest public company in the world, heavyweight in S&P 500, NASDAQ. If Apple moves, the entire indices moves. And again, this kind of changes. You'll see NVIDIA. It's the central to the AI revolution, drives semiconductor and AI infrastructure demand. So, if that's the sector you're focusing on, you really want to focus on that specific company. Microsoft, why does Microsoft matter? It dominates the cloud computing and the entire software side of basically the entire planet. Massive AI investment and often seen as the macro tech leader. So really, you always want to have 4 of these built in, and you want to follow them to kind of get a good idea of what's going on. Tesla, it's one of the most traded stocks in the entire world, reflects sentiment toward innovation and EVs. So again, those innovative stocks, you'll always see Tesla skyrocket. And when Tesla skyrockets, you will see those innovative, speculative, small tech, negative cash producing, no margin stocks skyrocket and follow as well. So again, you want to follow movements of Tesla to understand the impact on your other companies. Again, so all these indicators here will kind of help you really become a much, much better trader. Again, over here at home, you can see the crypto fear and greed index, the stock market fear and greed index, the Buffett indicator, the ox meter. And I can give you a little explanation. If it's in red over here on the ox meter, you should go 100% cash. Now, I can tell you this, it's very rarely happened to me that I wanted to go 100% cash. 2 times in 24 years of my life of investing. So almost never. Now, ox buy means there was a massive collapse. We're 100% in the biggest fear we've ever had. I'm buying up almost everything. At that moment, if you see the meter hit purple, you want to head on over to ox picks. So you want to see everything I am buying, call options I'm putting, everything I'm doing. The puts, calls, whatever I'm doing, you can see it in there. Again, over here in the next few days, you also see something called Ox deed, like a home deed, and you will be able to understand which real estate markets to buy in. Maybe you want to buy a real estate property to rent or live in, what's happening across the globe with the real estate markets, housing, land. So that'll be another awesome pro feature as well. Lots of cool things in here that really will impact you. Calculators. So again, you want to, let's say, understand how a discount cash flow calculator works, the MVRV calculator, reverse DCF calculator, gram number, they're all in here. So let's say you type in Apple up here, hit load, it will fully load up all the data for you so you can become a better trader. And again, there's courses built into OxRank that teach you how to use all of this. We assume it is your first day in trading and you need to learn everything from scratch. And again, maybe it's, you're only a 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years in. You can skip all of those sections, you understand, and start off at your appropriate level. Again, awesome tool, and just use it to the best ability you have. Again, this is your top 100 crypto here as well. Again, make sure you go to oxrank.com, try it out, and then we also have positions. We need about 5 positions filled for jobs. If you're interested in working from home, go to oxrankapp@gmail.com and email me. Again, that's just OxRank app, like application, @gmail.com, and we have positions available as well. Again, thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. If you want to see my next market breakdown, watch this video right here.